Because my father was a medical doctor, but he was a better musician than myself.
I see.
And then he said he was not going to allow me to do music because he believes Ghanaians don't respect music. So he practiced medicine, but he was doing music as a hobby. And he wanted me to do that, and I disagree with him. So I decided to take my chances.
Okay. What do you mean?
To go full time in music, I mean, go into professional music as a music being a business, you know. But I believe that my father was right.
The matter chop hot. Assembly diloto. Hey.
On today's edition of the podcast with me, Roland Amartey, live on Roland Reports, we are here to have a very interesting conversation. Today's one is an interesting one, of which I would want you to share your views in the comment section. What would be your reaction when a practitioner, one that is known to be very successful in the space, tells you that he would not even encourage his children to come and practice in the space that made him? What are the dangers when it comes to some of these statements, some of these mindsets, and all of that? Today, we are going to discuss about Rex Omar, a little bit of Shatta Wale, but then the main focus is about Rex Omar, who in an interview with Johnny Hughes on 3FM has confirmed that he would never let or encourage his children to do music or to enter into the music space. And also, he also spoke about his regrets in the industry. My name is Roland Amartey. This is the podcast live on Roland Reports. If you're watching or listening for the first time, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this content with others so they can equally enjoy it. And also don't forget that this particular show is sponsored by Ghana's #1 ride-hailing app, Shatta. Download the app today. Go on your Google Play Store, your App Store. Download as a rider, and you stand a chance of enjoying very affordable rides on the market. And as a driver as well, you sign up with just 20 Ghana cedis. Whatever you earn, whatever you get, is also from you. You pay no commission to anybody. Let's enter into the message or into today's topic proper, where Rex Omar is in the news. And he's in the news about saying he will never encourage his children to pursue music. I remember when one time Shatta, whenever he's fighting some of these systems and all of that. For those who don't know who Rex Omar is, he's a legendary high life musician in the space, a very prominent musician who also happens to be the chairman of GAMRO, a collection body that collects money or royalties on behalf of artists. This is the person I am talking about. So back to what Shatta Wale said. He said one time whenever the reason why sometimes he fights some of these institutions has to do with the fact that he is not, one of his fears has to do with the fact that he will wake up one day and any of his children would tell him that they would want to do music or be like him. And the fact that they are going to go through some of these rotten systems that he's been through, which is why sometimes he fights to the extent that he even gets hurt in the process, all in the quest for him or for us to have a very good industry where the next generation or upcoming generations can all benefit from it. But then this is one that Rex Omar, who also happens to be the chairman of GAMRO, has come out to say he is not going to encourage any of his children. He is not going to encourage any of his children to pursue music. And that is what we are going to discuss today. I have some of the footage, of which I've also have an article on Ghana Web that he said, all from that same interview. But then I would want us to go and listen to his regrets as a musician in the space. He made mention of the fact that he has huge regret in the space, and one time when he regretted being a Ghanaian musician. Let's go listen to whatever he had to say. Don't forget to share your views in the comment section because I do this with you. When we come back, I will tell you why he said he's not going to encourage his children into the music industry. Stick and stay. I'll be right back.
How did Rex Omar get into music?
I come from a music family per se, because my father was a medical doctor, but he was a better musician than myself.
I see.
And then he said he was not going to allow me to do music because he believes Ghanaians don't respect music. So he practiced medicine, but he was doing music as a hobby. And he wanted me to do that, and I disagree with him. So I decided to take my chances.
Okay. What do you mean?
To go full time in music. I mean, go into professional music as a music being a business, you know. But I believe that my father was right. That is why when I got to 40 years, I decided to put music on the second burner and go into business, and then also to go into the administrative aspect of the music industry.
Were you disappointed at some point?
Very. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why I got very disappointed. I believe that if there are 10 people in this country that God has granted the gift of music, I'm one of them.
Right.
I have not been able to come up with even 10% of what is in me. When I was pushing and I got the international openings and I was dealing with the global record labels and stuff like that, I had opportunity to do a tour with South Africa, Zibongeli Kumalo, may her soul rest in peace.
Amen.
And some few other international artists, one from Spain and others. So we were going through 5 European countries. Every country we got to, by the time we get to the airport, the embassy of that country have sent people to pick up their artists from the airport. They will come with branded vehicles and everything. And every country we got to, I realized that I was on my own. I saw front pages, full pages of the very artists that I'm performing with on the same stage. You open this, now you see a full page, Sibongeli Kumalo, blah, 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 sponsored by South African Airways, and then sometimes the embassy. So I was angry, and I was asking the organizer, why is it that we are on the same bill and you are promoting other artists without me? And they say, no, we are not doing it. It is their embassies.
Wow.
Their governments supported us to promote them. Then I said, did you go to my embassy? They say, yeah, we went there. They say, no, as for us, we don't do that. There's no budget for that.
Really?
Then I realized how naked I am as an artist. In fact, this thing really got to me. It made me very, very, it brought my spirit down. So when
This is what is coming from the legendary Rex Omar, who happens to be the chairman of Ghana Music Rights Organization, that is GAMRO. And this is what he's saying. But I'm also reading this on Ghana Web, which is also in the same interview with Johnny Hughes on 3FM. On Ghana Web says, I will never advise my children to pursue music. And this is coming from veteran high life musician Rex Omar. So the story says, veteran high life artist Rex Omar has stated that he wouldn't advise his children to pursue music in Ghana. According to him, engaging in music in Ghana would only lead to disappointment. Speaking in an interview on Accra-based 3FM, Rex Omar shared his personal experience and the systemic challenges that Ghanaian musicians face, especially on the international stage. When asked whether he would advise his children to pursue music, he replied with a definitive no. He added that despite their talent, he had been able to steer them away from a music career. None of my children are into music. I didn't impose it on them. I told them the truth. They understand that if you play around with music as a Ghanaian, music will disappoint you, he said. He narrated how during his tour across South Africa and several other countries, he was struck by the lack of support from the Ghanaian government, while other artists received grand welcomes from their respective embassies, complete with branded vehicles. Omar found himself without any such backing. I realized how exposed I am as an artist. It brought my spirit down, he said. Rex Omar mentioned how the situation led him to approach the Minister of Tourism at the time to seek support for another tour, only to receive minimal support. today, tomorrow, he said they could not sponsor one person. But even with that, he said they could sponsor one person. But even with that, I went on the tour for 5 months. I came back 2 months later before I was given something small. And even that something small, with the ups and downs, I nearly left it. He said Rex Omar mentioned that his experience have led him to believe that the industry has neglected its creatives. Thus, without any support system, achieving mainstream international success would be very difficult for Ghanaian artists. So, this brings us to the conversation where it is very difficult for artists to excel internationally, or how they are able to break through internationally. Because if what Rex Omar is saying is anything to go by, I think it kind of explains why artists are able to gain recognition here, but whenever they step out there, the whole conversation is different and it becomes very difficult for them to make it. I don't know what you think, but you can equally share your views in the comment section. To me, I've heard the likes of Shatta all share some of these things in terms of the fact that this is why they would want to fight certain systems for them to work, so their children can have a better life whenever they say they want to be musicians. But Rex Omar, according to Rex Omar in his statement, he's giving up. He doesn't see the future of Ghana music being good, which is why he wouldn't even encourage any of his children to even pursue music. But then, this is a sad statement though, if you ask me. But you are also at liberty to share your views. Let me hear from you. Should we encourage this in the space, or do you also think there is hope for the Ghanaian music industry? If not, let me hear from you. Let me know what you think. Share your views in the comment section. This has been the podcast with me, Roland Amartey, live on Roland Reports. Don't forget to subscribe, share this content with others so they can equally enjoy. Until then, don't forget to stay safe. I'll meet you in the next episode. Peace, I'm out.
Your mata job hot. Assembly Diloto. Hey! Aye! Hey!